Hello and welcome back to the Angry Dave podcast. I'm Dave, and this episode I'm going to talk a little bit. I guess I'll call it Deep Thoughts with Dave. I got some shit on my mind I want to get off my chest, and I thought I'd talk about it. I've been a little bit lazy with scheduling new guests. I'll get back to that real soon. I got a couple episodes coming up. We're going to do another What the Fuck with Iraq, and then I have a special episode with a character that Jacob created. I think it'll be fun. His name is Tony Ocean. He's a sea captain. I'm going to interview Tony. But today I'm going to talk a little bit about what's on my mind. So let me just take you back to the beginning of me, sort of writing and those types of things. I started, I don't know, it's been a long time now, maybe 15 years, maybe even a little bit longer. I started writing almost like journaling, and that turned into some poetry. Maybe someday I'll have balls enough to share that stuff with you. A lot of it's pretty dark, but in any event, it started for me as sort of therapy, as just sort of remembering things and getting it off my chest and sort of putting it out there. It felt good to write it, and then it made me feel better about it. And then, later when my dad passed away, I felt very strange. Like, I knew my dad very well, and we had a complicated relationship, but a very loving relationship. And I knew him well, and I feel like I almost knew him too well. I went through his stuff when he died, and there was nothing that I could find that I didn't know about him. I felt weird about that. I felt that maybe, there was something that I should have been able to find. I don't know. Maybe that's good, right? Maybe I didn't know, but we didn't have a lot of deep conversations in a way, or, and I talked about it before, but I didn't get a lot of advice from him. And it was a little disconcerting when I was first dealing with his death, that I just didn't have anything extra to look back on, I guess, to something that I could remember him about. So that got me into writing, like, sort of to my sons, and things that I wanted my sons to know about me, and to put my story out there. And I did that for a while, and I wrote a book kind of, and maybe someday I'll share that with the world too. But, about my life. And again, that was therapy too. And it was also something that, someday when I'm not around, my kids can have, and they could know things about me, maybe even some secrets or whatever, and just to know how I thought and how I grew up and where I came from, and maybe to explain some of my idiosyncrasies to them. And maybe they'll forgive me a little bit for being a little bit crazy when they're older. Maybe they'll take some advice from it when they're a dad, or, when they're in their 40s and 50s or whatever. So, but anyway, so I'm at a point in my life now where I have a 17-year-old son, and he's entering his senior year of high school. And I'm getting ready to let the little bird fly out into the world. And, I'm very excited for him. He's a great kid. He's turning into a great young man. He's got a job, and he's got his own opinions, and, and we still talk, and he still likes me mostly. He doesn't listen to my podcast yet. He's not there yet, I guess. Maybe someday he will, but, this will be here in perpetuity. So maybe someday he'll come back and listen to this episode. So anyway, it got me to thinking about things that I want to tell him, advice that I want to give, so he has it, and it goes for my younger son too, but he's still going to be around for a while. So I still have time to, fuck up his mind. But Jacob is getting ready to go out into the world. So, my time with him and screwing him up is coming to an end pretty soon. But so I have 25 things that I want to tell my son, 25 pieces of advice. So here it goes. First thing is be brave. You heard this on my podcast a number of times. I have 33 episodes, 20 something of them are different people who talked about it, and they talked about it over and over again. Be brave, take chances. I particularly want them to take chances because they have us. They have a falling place. We'll always be there for them. I don't want them to be 50 and still taking chances and still starting over. But use your 20s and take chances. Do things that you want to do. Explore the world. That's the time. That's the time. And I'll be here for you. And, you have a falling place. And, maybe it all works out and you don't have to come back. But you have that safety net. Me and your mom didn't have that safety net. But you do. And you should use it to your benefit and take chances and dream big and do big things and travel the world or do whatever you want to do and use those 20s, especially, after you graduate college, because I know you want to go to college. That's another thing for another day, but I don't necessarily think that everybody needs college these days. But in any event, my son wants to go to college, so I'm going to certainly support that. But once you finish college, go and explore the world. Take a chance. Don't get into your career and get, bogged down right away. You don't have to do it. You have the support system and use it. Number 2 is I want you to see things through, try hard, and give your best effort on everything that you do. But once you do that, it is really okay to quit. It is. As long as you give your effort and you gave it, the old college try, it's okay. It's okay to move on. If you're miserable or if you're not good at something, move on, try something new. You don't have to torture yourself, some preconceived notion that you have to be good at this thing because you chose it. I wish somebody would have told me that. A lot of time, I went to law school and I'm proud of the lawyer that I was and the career that I've had. But, I knew pretty early on that I didn't really want to be doing this. But I was so afraid of feeling like a failure because I didn't want to do this thing. I became good at it. I gave it the college try, and I just wanted to stop doing it. It took me a really long time to get out of doing the thing that I really didn't want to be doing because I felt like I should want to have done it since I put so much effort into it and, it sort of defined me and I let that happen to myself. And I don't want you or anybody out there to do that. You can change gears. You don't have to, just because you made one decision, live with that decision for the rest of your life. If you don't like it, move on. Number 3, make new friends. Make an effort to talk to people, make new friends at work, at the gym, have a hobby, wherever you are, let people in to your life. You never know what that may turn out to be. Go have a beer with somebody that you don't know that seems a little odd. Just give it a chance. Give people a chance and have a big friend group and try to have new friends and different people in your life. I've benefited greatly in my life from dabbling amongst different friend groups and having different people, different types of people in all kinds of walks of life, baseball people, judo people, work people, people that I grew up with, all kinds of different people that have come into my life, college people, those types of things, and different parts of my life. But just let people in, make that effort to have new friends, to try new things with new people. It's really important. I've said this a million times on this podcast and to my kids is, relationships are what it's all about. And building relationships and making the effort over and over and over again to do that benefits you. It adds to your life, and you won't regret it. You won't regret trying to have friends and making an effort to do that. Number 4, which was part of what number 3 is, have hobbies. Try new things. Do things without your significant other. I can't stress that enough, to have your own life always, and have people in your life that do things, that like things, that, are adventurous, and be adventurous. Try new things, put yourself out there. Again, you'll never know what you like or what you might be good at. Try it. I've said this before on this podcast too. My dad suffered from chronic depression, and he often was afraid to try new things because he didn't want to embarrass himself. Don't be afraid of that. None of that means anything. Nobody remembers that stuff. It's all in your head, that embarrassment thing, and it stops you from trying. So just try new things. Again, be adventurous. Try anything one time. If you don't like it, then you don't like it. That's fine. But you should always at least try it and have a hobby. That goes with picking partners. Pick people that like to do things, that don't have just you. And you can't just have that person. Every relationship needs to have a little bit of solitude. People become resentful after a while if they don't have anything but each other. Remember why you get into a relationship, or what attracted to you to that person from the beginning. Don't try to change the person, and don't let that person try to change you. You are going to change over time, but value individuality and value that person's individuality, and make sure that person values your individuality. If a hobby or something that you want to do, or something that's a part of you, makes you happy, run away from anybody that tries to take that away from you. Your partner in life or your friends should want you to be happy. They shouldn't be jealous of it or feel like it's taking away from your relationship. That's what they signed up for. And that, again, the same thing goes for you. That's what you signed up for. That person did things before they met you. Don't take that away from them. That makes them happy. Enjoy your time together. You come to your individuals with your own individual lives, own individual thoughts, and you come together because you enjoy each other's company. So focus on enjoying each other's company when you're together and making time for each other. Sure, there has to be compromise. You can't always do the hobby or the thing that you like to do. You have to make time for your family or your significant other. It doesn't have to be, it's not mutually exclusive. You can have both things. And in fact, trust me, any healthy relationship has both things. There's time together, there's time with the family, and there's times apart. And then there's times where you're holding the load, and there's times where the other person bears the load of the family obligations, while the other person bears the family obligations while you go out and play, and then vice versa, and then you do the same thing. That's all very healthy. It's all very healthy. Shy away from anybody that tries to change you or tries to tell you that you're too selfish because you want a little piece of your own life. Trust me, you need it, and they need it too. Number 5, listen to what people say about other people and trust it. Early in my 20s, and maybe even into my 30s, we used to go to the bar, and I used to hang out with people, and we gossip about other people, right? And I would often think that, I feel bad. Why am I gossiping about this person? I don't want to do that. I used to get caught up in it a little bit with some of my friends. And then one day it clicked to me that, fuck. You know what? When I'm not around, these people are doing the same goddamn thing. They're talking shit about me. If those gossip queens and kings are talking shit about your other friends when your other friends aren't there, guess what? They're doing the same to you. Don't waste your time with the gossip kings and queens. They bring you down. It's nothing but vitriol and jealousy and nonsense. You don't want to be a part of that negative energy. And again, trust them. Listen to what they're saying. If they're saying it about somebody else, they're saying it about you, buddy. You're not that special. Trust me. You're not that special. If they're talking shit and it's, mean spirited, again, everybody talks about their friends once in a while. When you're worried about them, you want to say something to them. But you should never talk about your friends behind their back, something that you wouldn't tell them directly. If you can't tell them directly, then you're not really a true friend to them. And maybe you have to think about that. That if you don't feel comfortable talking to them about the thing that you don't like or you're concerned about, then you have to evaluate whether you actually are true friends or not, and whether you should be putting time into that relationship. But again, the important lesson that I want you to know here is listen to how people talk about other people, and trust that they are talking about you the same way. That's who they are. And you're not special. They're doing the same to you. And by the way, if you're looking in the mirror, why are you talking shit about your friend? Is it because you're jealous? Is it because you're actually concerned? And if you're actually concerned, find a way to tell them. Because there's no benefit to just talking shit to other people about your friend. Find a way to rectify the issue. And again, we all do it once in a while. I'm victim to it. I like a little gossip, but try to steer away from that, and try to steer away from people that get bogged down in that kind of stuff. Number 6, make time for quiet thought and to look inside yourself. Some of the best times that I've had and the moments of clarity that I had was the many years that I was on the road for work. On the road, as I always traveled within the state, but I would be in the car for many hours at a time by myself. And oftentimes I wouldn't even have the radio on, and I would just be thinking. And I'd be able to take that quiet time to really work it all out in my head. But the thing that you have to do when you're doing that is you have to be honest with yourself. You have to look inside yourself and be honest. We're all not perfect. You just have to strive to be better and strive to not make that same mistake over and over again, or not be that same asshole over and over again. Again, it ain't easy. We're all work in progress. I certainly fail sometimes too. But take that time, take that quiet time. Don't shy away from it, and think it out and think it out and look at yourself and evaluate the way you are handling these situations that come up in your life, and evaluate yourself first. You don't have to be hard on yourself. You just have to be honest with yourself. Are you treating this person right? Are you treating this decision right? Are you working hard enough? Are you working too hard? There's so many things that come up in life. But just sit and think about it. Take the time to do that. Take that quiet time and evaluate. Number 7, there are no absolutes. Anybody that you find that you meet in your life that are people that, are like zealots, shy away from those people. No matter if they believe what you believe, or they don't believe what you believe. The opposite. Those are dangerous types of people, zealots. They think they have the answer. They can't ever be swayed. And I don't care if they agree with you. They're just as dangerous as the people that don't agree with you when when these people are absolute people. The types of people that have all the answers and it's 100% right, and the other person is evil. There are no absolutes in this world. And don't be that person. Be willing to be wrong. Be willing to change your mind. People that think they know it all and think that the world is black and white and, is all right or all wrong. Very little things in this world are all right or all wrong. I mean, there are some, but not many. Just again, murder has levels, right? There's first degree murder, premeditated murder, and then there's involuntary manslaughter. So if in our law we recognize that even killing somebody has levels of, there's differences to the punishment that you would give somebody because of that death. There's hardly anything that is all yes or all no or all right or all wrong, all black or all white. And people that think they have all the answers or so staunch in their beliefs, they are dangerous, dangerous people, and they will turn on you on a dime. Nuance of thought is not something that people like that have, and you don't really want to be involved with those types of people. And please, please don't be that type of person. Be willing to be wrong. Be willing to listen to somebody that has nothing in common with you. Maybe they might be right. I mean, most of the time they're probably idiots, right? But they might have something valuable to say. They're more important to you than the person that's a zealot that agrees with you. I would rather you be listening to the zealot that didn't agree with you. Number 8, seek advice. Again, listen, pause, think, decide. It's okay to be wrong. It's okay to change your opinion. It's okay to change course. And it sort of, is a conglomeration of some of the things I've already been talking about. But don't be set in your ways. Don't just do something because you always did it that way, or don't just do something because somebody expects you to do it. I don't expect you to do anything. Speaking to my sons, I just want you to be happy. Just be happy and seek out what makes you happy. Again, give it the old college try, but don't be stuck. And that the same thing goes with, anything that you think. Opinions change. You're going to change your opinion a million times. It's okay. I once had an argument with my dad just about religion and stuff, and he, I remember this very vividly. We were arguing. Oh, we were arguing when Jacob was born because I didn't want to get him baptized Catholic. And he tells me, "Well, you were the same kid that used to do the sign of the cross when you were 16 and you were, walking up to the plate." And I 100% was. 100% was. I said, "Yeah, Dad, but my opinion changed." And he was just flabbergasted by the idea that I could change like that. And I just don't want you to ever shut anything off. The possibilities of changing your life or changing your opinion, changing your friends, changing your career. Always be open and listen to other people, again, not just in a negative way, like I talked about earlier, but seek advice from people. Seek advice from people that you don't agree with. Seek advice from people that you think are generally not all that bright. Sometimes you get the best nuggets of truth in the strangest places if you're open to listening to people. Nobody has the corner on all great advice. People have varying life experiences where they might have some really great nugget that might help you. Don't shy away from that. Be pliable is, I guess, what I want to tell you. Number 9, be kind to yourself, to your waitress, to your secretary, to your trash man, to your mom, to your brother, to your kids, to your girlfriend, to your dad. In the way you respond. Kindness isn't weakness. You will get far more in life from being a little bit patient with a bad bartender. Tip well, be nice, be forgiving. I say this, and I don't struggle with being kind to people. I struggle with people that I feel are being disrespectful to me, or, yeah, belligerent people. However, even be kind to them, you know? It's always better to be kind and to be nice. Don't don't ask a million questions at fucking dinner. Order something off the fucking menu, for God's sake. Nobody likes the person that has 72 questions and 32 changes at the restaurant. Find something there's something on the fucking menu that you can eat. You don't have to be a bag of dicks that you need special goddamn treatment all the time. It's annoying. It's self-important. Nobody likes those people. And, you just put a bad energy into the world, and don't be that person. I don't, Jacob has been working at a restaurant recently, so I don't ever think he'll ever be that person, because he's now experienced bags of dicks and he appreciates his family a little bit more because of it, the way that we treat waiters and waitresses and people that are waiting on us, the customer service people. But, and again, kindness isn't weakness. Number 10, tell the truth, again, to yourself, to your friends, to your family. But be kind when you're doing it. It's not what you say to people. It's always how you say it. There's no winner when there's brutal honesty. Brutal honesty doesn't win the day. Brutal honesty hurts, and nobody hears you when you're brutal and when you're mean. Just be honest and kind. There's nothing that you ever have to tell somebody where it has to be mean. It doesn't. You don't have to deliver it in a mean way. You can deliver it in a matter-of-fact way. You don't have to apologize for your opinion or for what you have to tell somebody because you're concerned. But you don't have to be mean about it. It's not necessary. Number 11, stand up for yourself and stand up to bullies for other people. Try to be kind when you do it. Again, always come from a place of kindness, of empathy, but ending people bullying you or bullying other people is more important than being kind. This is the one time that you don't have to be kind. You have to be assertive and you have to be direct. There are mean people in this world. There are bad people in this world. And there's reasons for that. And we should feel empathy for those people, but we don't have to take it and we shouldn't watch it happen. We should put a stop to it. And if it can't be done with kindness, then do it meanly. That's fine. That's the one chance that you get to be an asshole. And it is quite rewarding sometimes. There's too many bullies in this world that get away with it in so many ways. I don't just mean physical bullies. There's all kinds of types of bullies, and you know when it's happening. And you should try to stand up the best that you can. Number 12, not everyone deserves your time or your love, but you should give it away easily and generously. Love big. It's okay. Be okay with being disappointed with people. Again, try to make new friends, new acquaintances. Love them. And if they if they wind up not deserving it, move on. Move on quickly. Don't continue to be abused by that, right? If it's not of value to you, move on. It's okay. That's true of friends, of family, of acquaintances, of jobs. Move on. Don't torture yourself, but give it the effort and be open and be generous and be okay with being disappointed in people. You are going to be disappointed in life and with people, but it's better to give them the opportunity. But again, listen to them. Listen to them. Zebras have stripes, right? Trust that the zebra has the stripes. When they reveal themselves, trust it. They might be able to change. Let them come back when they're changed. But don't continue to have these relationships or to spend time worrying about people that don't deserve your time or your energy. Number 13, trust your worth and the value of your skills. Be confident when you've earned it. I see a lot, and I talk about this generation of workers and people that think that they deserve something very quickly. I appreciate anybody that has confidence and that pushes forward and wants to make better for themselves. But you do have to earn it. And once you have earned it, be confident in that. And once you have become an expert at something, it's okay to say you're an expert. You don't have to be a dick about it, but it's okay to be confident and to know your value and to tell people that they have to value you. And if they don't value you, you need to move on. But earn it first, man. You know? If you go to a job, you're not going to earn it in 6 months, pal. Right? You're not going to become the director or the vice president or, the owner, whatever, in 6 months. That's not the way the world works. Hard work is required. There is nothing, no amount of intelligence that replaces experience. You need to experience things. You need to experience them 10 times, really, before you become, you know how to deal with that situation every time and where you can anticipate things, right? No book can teach you how to anticipate these real world problems. You need to experience them first. Again, it can set you up, and being smart and being intuitive and being open to change and being open to other people's opinions can all help you navigate the world of professional world in particular. But trust that you're good when you get good. But don't rush it. You know what I'm saying? You know, you're not the fucking CEO 2 weeks in. Number 14, call your mom and your little brother. And if you have some time, call your dad. You're going out into the world soon, buddy. And you're going to have a lot of experiences. And there's going to be a lot of things that happen. And you're going to meet people. And it's going to be fun and exciting and new and important. And it all is. And you should live it and live in that moment. But always, always make time for the people that love you. And it goes for your friends too. Your friends that might not be in that experience with you or around every once in a while. Relationships take effort, and it doesn't take that much effort to continue that friendship relationship or that relationship with your mom or your little brother or your dad. But it takes a little bit of effort, and don't forget about it. There are people that are always going to be there for you, no matter what. They're the people that know you from the beginning. And those relationships are so valuable and irreplaceable. And you don't hurt your mom's feelings. Don't hurt your little brother's feelings. He worships you. You're going to go away, and he's going to need to know that you still are, he's still a part of your life. And that's going to be on you to do that when you go away. Don't forget about him. I have told my son many times, one real regret I have in my life is I tried to be my little sister's father when she was a teenager. I wish I was a better brother. I was misguided. And our relationship suffered for many years because of that. And we're not super close because of that. We certainly love each other, but we don't have that real close relationship that my two sons have. And that Laura and her brother have a very close relationship now. That's an invaluable relationship. There's nobody that's going to know you better or know where you come from better than the people that you grew up with. So value those relationships, even when you're going through all this newness and this exciting time. And I don't want to take it away from you. Live it up, live it. Just take the time to call. Take the time to stop home every once in a while. You know what I mean? Your mom needs a hug. Your brother needs a hug. I need a hug too, every once in a while. But I'll just take the call. Even you could text me. All right? How about that? Call them, talk to them, text me once in a while. Tell me a joke. Check in with me, all right? And do the same thing for your friends. Don't forget about them. Again, best friends that don't talk soon become just friends or good friends. Then they become friends. Then they become acquaintances. And then they become afterthoughts. And that all happens when you don't put any effort into it. Put the effort in. It doesn't take that much. A phone call once every couple of weeks or once a month to a friend, or a text message, every now and again, just to keep the conversation going. It's important. Again, it's always about the relationships, bud. Always. Number 15, make fun of everything. Yourself, your friends, your situation, when I die, everything. Laughter is 100% the best coping mechanism. It makes you feel good. I find no value in depression and wallowing and self-pity. Grown men cry. There's going to be times where you cry, and that's okay. But make a fucking joke out of it. It's okay. It's okay to laugh at anything. As long as it's funny, number one. But it's okay to laugh. Laugh. It's the best medicine. It always will be. Don't let anybody tell you any different. And if they can't take it, if they're too stuck in the mud, they got to stick up their ass, they're not your people. You don't need those types of people in your life. Number 16, try to find the joy in everything you do. There's going to be a lot of times where you don't necessarily want to do things, but go into every situation with a positive attitude. Attitude is where it's always at. If you want to have a good time, if you're hell-bent on having a good time, you most likely will have a good time. If you're hell-bent on having a bad time, it's easy. You'll find the shitty part of everything. It's always easy to do. So try to find that little piece of happiness or joy in everything that you do. Go in with a positive attitude, and just try to experience it in a positive light. That's the only way to get through things that you might not want to do sometimes. Number 17, Embarrass yourself. Dance, sing, try something you think you're going to be terrible out at. Again, be adventurous. The best memories I've ever had in my life are often from unexpected things. Let yourself be open to the unexpected. Don't plan everything. Be open to a new adventure. Go out with somebody on their plans and you don't really know what's going to happen. As long as you trust the person is fucking not going to kill you. But you know what I mean? Be open and adventurous. And I said sort of this before, but be willing to be embarrassed. Because again, embarrassment is nothing but, in your own mind. Nobody remembers that stuff. It's fun. It's fun to try something new, to be terrible at something and try it. Who cares? Again, you never know what you might be good at or what might be fun or what might bring a great memory unless you put yourself out there. So put yourself out there. Number 18, and this might be one of my biggest things that I really want you to understand is important to me, is be a man of your word. Do what you say you're going to do. Finish what you say you're going to finish. Don't be a fucking Landetta. Again, I said this in another podcast, but Sean Landetta was a Hall of Fame punter. He was on 2 all-decade teams in the 80s and the 90s. So I call people at work that start things and then they punt them, or they never have the time to finish anything. They're always punting to somebody else to do it. Don't fucking be that person. Nobody likes that person. If you want to be valued, if you want to be a valued friend, if you want to be a valued employee, if you want to be valued in your family, be a man of your word. Do what you say you're going to do. And on the flip side, say no. Don't be wishy-washy. If you're not going to do something, just say you're not going to do it. Don't be the fucking maybe dude. I've talked about this a million times about other people, but don't be the maybe guy. Maybe, I'm not sure. Don't be wishy-washy. Don't tell people, you might show up or that kind of thing. Value them enough to be honest with them and to tell them the truth. And again, to follow through on what you're going to do. If you say you're going to do this, you say you're going to be there, you say you're going to help, do it. Do it. And people will respect the hell out of you because of it. Because it's not really that common, to be honest. So be that person. Number 19, show up second to a party. This is my philosophy. Don't be the first person, but also don't be the person that shows up fashionably late. I like to show up kind of early to a party because you can set the tone. You can help set the tone even if it's not your party. Be a little bit earlier. You don't want to be the first one there and fucking be awkward, but be, the first, within the first 4 or 5 people there. Be early. Don't be late. Fashionably late's not fashionable. It's annoying. Number 20, real men cry and ask for help. Don't be afraid to be emotional. Don't be afraid to be in your feelings. Deal with it. Don't bottle it up. And if you need help, go ask for help. I've talked about this before, about my history. And I don't want to go through that necessarily in this podcast again, about my history of, people in my family with the chronic depression and suicide. I worry about that for my kids because, I worry about the hereditary nature of depression. So again, if you need help, go get a professional to help you. If you need help, come ask for help, financially, whatever. Come ask for help. If you need help emotionally, ask for help. It's okay not to be okay. It's not okay to wallow in it. All right? So deal with it. Number 21, something that I really live by, keep challenging yourself, have goals, never stop working, never stop trying to be productive. Again, even if you're a rich, you hit the lottery or whatever, you become rich, have a schedule that you do something where you're valuable, donate your time, don't stop. People that stop get dirt thrown on them. Paul Anka said that in an interview recently, and it's something that I really believe in. I believe that my grandfather outlived my father just for the sole fact that my grandfather never stopped, and my dad was always still. So I believe that wholeheartedly. Just always keep moving, keep trying to progress, keep trying to make yourself better, keep trying new things, keep moving, keep yourself productive, keep the engine running. An engine that sits idle seizes up and it becomes inoperable after a while. And not because of anything else other than it was just sitting there. I think that is the same for a mind or a body. So keep it moving. Always have something in your life to look forward to. And always have something in your life to accomplish. Number 22, be willing to earn your way. Don't beg. Move on if somebody doesn't value you. This is part of what I've talked about before. But again, be willing to put the time in and put the effort in, especially if you value it, right? If you feel like you want to be there. And put the college try in, really put the effort in. But don't fucking beg people to appreciate you. I've had this a number of times in my life. I've been underappreciated in most places I've ever been. And I don't necessarily know why that is. It's mostly probably because I don't speak up enough and I don't, tout myself loud enough. Part of me believes that I shouldn't have to, that you should know if I'm working for you and I'm doing a good job and your clients like me, and that you should value that and know what you're getting. But I've had it many times where it didn't happen. And I don't want that to happen for anybody out there, and my kids in particular. But be willing to work for it. But once you get there and it's clear that you're not valued, move on. You don't owe anybody anything other than a hard day's work and, some notice that you're leaving. That's it. You don't owe them your life. You owe them quality work. That's all you owe. Nothing else. Number 23, treat everyone fairly, but you don't have to treat everybody the same. It's a hard concept to learn sometimes, but, this goes in sports, and everybody doesn't respond the same way in sports or in the workforce. You do have to treat people differently sometimes, or approach them differently. But you have to treat them all fairly, with the same standards, but not necessarily exactly the same. And that'll be with your kids, with your significant others, with your family, with every relationship that you have. Be fair to people, but don't think that there's absolutes again for everything, that everybody has to fit into a mold, because that's not the way the world works. Everybody's a little bit different. Everybody responds a little bit different. But again, you don't have to compromise your values or, your moral compass for people. But you can treat people a little bit differently, but still be fair to them. Don't forget that. Number 24, don't be afraid to be yourself. Don't hide who you are, and especially don't hide who you are to people that think they're better than you. Be your genuine self. Your genuine self is the best version of you. It's the version of you that people are going to love. I trust me, you're a great person. Both of my kids, great kids. People love you for who you are. And if you find people that don't, fuck them. You don't need them, and they're probably not good people because you are actually good people. Be yourself. Don't lean into who you are and find, you're going to go on a journey and you're going to change and things about you are going to change. But the center of who you are, it never really changes, right? The more, their morals, your basic person, the goodness, the kindness, you know, don't run from any of that, especially to people that think they're better than you. I have a good story about that. I was a young lawyer and I was often deferential to older lawyers. Yes, sir. Yes, 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 ma'am, that type of thing. And I found that people were starting to take advantage of me because they thought I was trying to take advantage of me because they thought I was inexperienced and they thought they can get over on me. I have a little man syndrome as it is, so that's hard for me to deal with. But one time, a guy was really trying to get over on me. He was starting to raise his voice, and I had called him sir earlier on in a deposition that I was doing. And finally, I had enough of the nonsense, and I just stood up for myself because he was trying to bully me. And it was really the first time in a professional setting, maybe I was doing it for 4 or 5 years, that I really stood up for myself. And I just became, 19-year-old Dave. And I said to him, hey, listen, cuz you got to calm the fuck down. And everything changed. Like he shut it off because he realized I wasn't going to take a shit anymore. And, it was a little bit unprofessional and I got better at it as time went on to be a little bit more dignified in my response. but every once in a while, you gotta yobo somebody or yo cousin and tell them to calm the fuck down. You know what I mean? Again, just be who you are, lean into it. People like genuine people, no matter who they are. They like that you are comfortable with yourself. It makes them comfortable being themselves. Number 25, find partners that will be honest and loyal and have their own wants and dreams. Again, that's not just a sexual partner or whatever. It's also friends, business partners, colleagues, those types of things. You want people that are honest. You want people that have a sense of loyalty. You want people that have a moral compass inside them. Don't look for like-minded people. Like-minded, that doesn't mean anything. Your opinion of the world doesn't mean anything. That can change. And it changes from subject to subject. Right? That's superficial. What means something is who you are at the core. Are you kind to me? Will you be loyal to me? Will you fucking bury a body with me if I need you to bury a body? That's the type of people you want in your life. You don't have to agree with them. In fact, who cares if you agree with them? It makes it funner when you're drunk together to argue about nothing. You know what I mean? Just have that banter. But moral compass is what matters, not your opinions of the world. Trust me. I have great, great friends, and I think that they're complete and utter morons when it comes to politics. But who cares? Because that's not the core of the person. I know that those people will, give me the shirt off their back if I need it, that are loyal to me. I can trust them with my kids, with my wife, with my family, with my money, with anything. Just because I agree with somebody, that doesn't mean anything. I thought I was going to go for 25, but I guess I got 26 because I had two 14s. So this is number 26. Find time to be creative and to walk away from the world. Find a place that lets you empty your mind and disconnect to the outside world. Again, that's part of what I said earlier with give yourself time and space to think. Well, give yourself time and space to create too. Whatever that creation is, whether it's woodworking or writing or playing an instrument, or riding on a jet ski without your phone out, and just where you're just into the world around you and you're immersed. And I just, with every experience that you do and you have in your life, immerse yourself into it. You know, I often say you go to like a concert now and you see people watching the concert through their fucking phone. They paid tickets to see the person live, and they're actually not even seeing them live because they're spending the time videoing it through their phone. So they're actually still seeing this concert that they paid for live, or this sporting event that they paid for to be there live through a screen. Don't be that. Be willing to immerse yourself in that moment. And again, to be away from the rest of the world and just be into whatever you're doing. You know, whether it's manual labor or, you know, creative music or whatever. Just, it's so great for your soul just to be able to, you know, just get away from the world, you know, from the actual world and your everyday problems, and just, you know, empty your mind for a minute. Judo is a wonderful way to do that. You can't look on your phone when you're being thrown by another human being. Playing music, similar, something, or just writing, or being, you know, away with your thoughts. Do it. So, that's all I got for now. Hopefully my kids listen to this someday. Until then, you know, the 200 people that listen to my podcast, it's for you. All right? Well, I hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, I'm out.